Morning. Welcome to Francis Bacon and Eggs. Today I'll be making some eggs, actually probably a singular egg, and reading Francis Bacon. Chapter XI of Great Place. Written in 1612, slightly enlarged in 1625. It's a bit of a short chapter, so I'm going to get started. Oh, whoa, this is a long chapter. Great. I'm still going to get started. I'm going to be trying something new today. I haven't tried it before, which is a baked avocado with an egg inside. It's going to be quite good. First, I'm going to turn the oven up to 425 and just wait for that to preheat. On. There we go. That's preheating, which is good. Then I'm going to take my avocado, which I have a couple over here, and take out a cutting board, grab a knife, and open the avocado. I like to remove the pit before I cut it. There's no reason to. Just cut it all around as you normally do, twist. This one's relatively ripe. Never stab straight down when cutting an avocado like this, because you're liable to actually go through your hand. I have a relative who did that. Not fun. Here we have a pretty good avocado. There's a bit of gray things, but it should be fine. And I'm going to wait and prepare. While that's preheating, I'm just going to start reading. So, put my phone on it. Silent. Of Great Place. Men in Great Place are thrice servants. Servants of the sovereign or state, servants of fame, and servants of business. So as they have no freedom, neither in their persons, nor in their actions, nor in their times. It is a strange desire to seek power and to lose liberty, or to seek power over others and to lose power over a man's self. The rising of the place is laborious, and by pains men come to greater pains, and it is sometimes base, and by indignities men come to dignities. The standing is slippery, and the regress is either a downfall or at least an eclipse, which is a melancholy thing. Cum non sisqui fueris, non esse cur velis vivere, which in Latin means, when you are no longer what you have been, there is no longer reason why you should wish to live. Cicero. That's depressing. Nay, retire men cannot when they would, neither will they when it were reason, but are impatient of privateness, even in age and sickness, which require the shadow. Like old townsmen, they will be still sitting at their street door, though thereby they offer age to scorn. It's a bit of a dense passage. I don't know why anyone would want to be powerful. Certainly great persons had need to borrow other men's opinions to think themselves happy. For if they judge by their own feeling, they cannot find it. But if they think with themselves what other men think of them, and that other men would fain be as they are, then they are happy, as it were by report, when perhaps they find the contrary within. For they are the first that find their own griefs, though they can be the last that find their own faults. Certainly men in great fortunes are strangers to themselves, and while they are in the puzzle of business, they have no time to tend their health, either of body or mind. Illi mors gravis incubat, qui notus nimis omnibus ignotus mortor sibi. Death lies heavy on him who, too well known to others, dies a stranger to himself. Seneca. Wow. This is damning. In place there is license to do good and evil, whereof the latter is a curse. For in evil the best condition is not to will, the second not to can. But power to do good is the true and lawful end of aspiring. For good thoughts, though God accept them, yet towards men are little better than good dreams, except they be put in act, and that cannot be without power and place, as the vantage and commanding ground. Merit in good works is the end of man's motion, and conscience of the same is the accomplishment of man's rest. For if a man can be partaker of God's theatre, he shall likewise be partaker of God's rest. Et conversus Deus ut aspicaret opera, quae fecerunt manus suae, Vidit quam omnia essent bona minimis. Again, my Latin is too poor to actually translate this immediately. I'm not even sure this even is translated. Oh, beautiful. In the discharge of thy place, set before thee the best examples, for imitation is a globe of precepts. And after a time, set before thee thine own example, and examine thyself strictly whether thou didst not best at first. Neglect not also the examples of those that have carried themselves ill in the same place, not to set off thyself by taxing their memory, but to direct thyself what to avoid. Reform, therefore, without bravery or scandal of former times and persons, but yet set it down to thyself as well to create good precedents as to follow them. As always, Francis Bacon is really quite dense. I think what he's saying is good. Reform, create good precedents, and follow them. Man, that's useful. Reduce things to the first institution, and observe wherein and how they have degenerated. But yet ask counsel of both times, of the ancient time what is best, and of the latter time what is fittest. Seek to make thy course regular, that men may know beforehand what they may expect. But be not too positive and peremptory, and express thyself well when thou digressest from thy rule. Okay, so make a habit of it so people know what you're doing. Preserve the right of thy place, but stir not questions of jurisdiction, and rather assume thy right in silence and de facto than voice it with claims and challenges. Preserve likewise the rights of inferior places, and think it more honor to direct in chief than to be busy in all. Embrace and invite helps and advices touching the execution of thy place, and do not drive away such as bring thee information as meddlers, but accept of them in good part. Yesterday I read a lot of medieval, just poems from the late medieval period, and they were much more comprehensible than this, which is sad. The vices of authority are chiefly four: delays, corruption, roughness, and facility. For delays give easy access, keep times appointed, go through with that which is in hand, and interlace not business but of necessity. For corruption, do not only bind thine own hands or thy servants' hands from taking, but bind the hands of suitors also from offering. For integrity, used doth the one, but integrity professed, and with a manifest detestation of bribery, doth the other, and avoid not only the fault, but the suspicion. Whosoever is found variable, and changeth manifestly without manifest cause, giveth suspicion of corruption. Therefore, always when thou changest thine opinion of course, profess it plainly, and declare it, together with the reasons that move thee to change, and do not think to steal it. A servant or a favourite, if he be inward, and no other apparent cause of esteem, is commonly thought but a byway to close corruption. For roughness it is a needless cause of discontent. Severity breedeth fear, and roughness breedeth hate. Even reproofs from authority ought to be grave and not taunting. As for facility, it is worse than bribery. For bribes come but now and then, but if importunity or idle respects lead a man, he shall never be without. As Solomon saith, to respect persons is not good, for such a man will transgress for a piece of bread. This is intensely boring. I'm going to get on with my avocado. There's more. Don't worry. So I need an egg. I already had a 3-egg omelet this morning. It was delicious. I know. I should film every single eggs I make, but I make a lot. And I was told to open the egg into the avocado so that the yolk falleth first, preceded afterward by the white, which in Middle Late English is pronounced quit. Crack the yolk first. And that's it. This is really quite simply. Alright, so here I need to actually scoop out, because what happens is that this egg needs to fit in this avocado, and that doesn't quite work yet. So I'm going to scoop out a bit here, just to make sure. Should be around 2 tablespoons. That's delicious. There we go, it looks a bit better. And then we break the egg. Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. I should have seen that coming. Richard. Horrible. So we have this egg here, and it's just sitting in there. I spilled some of the egg yolk, but egg whites, that's fine. It looks really good. I hope you can see it. I don't really want to turn it. And I'm assuming that the oven is actually heated at this point. So what I'm going to do is sure that that's not going to fall over. Fix my sink at some point. Dear God, what is that sink? Grab for myself an oven mitt. Take out my handy tray. Put the avocado on the tray. This tray is still a bit dirty from last night. Made some lovely rosemary chicken. I normally clean it most of the time. Carefully make sure it doesn't actually fall, and there we have it. And now I leave that in for 15 minutes. Can you believe that? Don't worry, I will not regale you with Francis Bacon for all of 15 minutes. But I will pause and restart. Good. For what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal quarrel must give us pause. Let's read a bit more. Let's get to the end of this. It is most true that was anciently spoken, a place showeth the man, and it showeth some to be better, and some to be worse. Omnium consentio capax imperi nisi imperasset, saith Tacitus of Galba. But of Vespasian he saith, solus imperantium Vespasianus mutatus in melius. Changes in honey? Ooh, no, this is good. By the consent of all he was fit for government if he had never ruled. And of Vespasian, of all the emperors, Vespasian alone was changed for the better. Bacon explains that the former sentence refers to sufficiency, the latter to moral improvement. Though the one was meant for sufficiency, the other is manner and affection. It is an assured sign of a worthy and generous spirit, whom honor amends. For honor is, or should be, the place of virtue. And as in nature things move violently to their place, and calmly in their place, so virtue and ambition is violent, and authority settled and calm. All rising to great places by a winding stair, and if there be factions, it is good to side a man's self whilst he is in the rising, and to balance himself when he is placed. Use the memory of thy predecessor fairly and tenderly, for if thou dost not, it is the debt well sure be paid when thou art gone. If thou have colleagues, respect them, and rather call them when they look not for it than exclude them when they have reason to look to be called. Be not too sensible. Bacon. Really? Or too remembering of thy place in conversation and private answers to suitors. But let it rather be said, when he sits in a place, he is another man. I really do not understand this passage at all. Let's look at the analysis of Essay 11. So 1, evils of great place. It is a threefold servitude. The rising is laborious, standing slippery, the then regressive downfall. Its thraldom is perpetual, men cannot get rid of it. Its happiness consists only in the opinion of others. It gives increased opportunity for evil as well as for good. It's basically talking about status. Precepts to those in great place. 1, study examples, both good and evil. Reform modestly, study the past history of things which have become abused. Act consistently and uniformly, and preserve your own rights quietly and those of your inferiors. And accept and seek advice of others. All very good. 3, vices of authority and the remedies. 1, delays. The remedies are easy access, punctuality, doing one thing at a time. Seriously? Is that in here? Do one thing at a time. Huh. I really don't see that in here, but I guess that's reduce things to the first institution. Weird. I want to find that bit. Good, it's now ready. I think that's fine. We have 12 minutes left. Set before the best examples. Examine thyself strictly. Perform without bravery or scandal. Reduce things to the first institution. Seek to make that course regular. Reserve the right to answer questions of jurisdiction. Embrace and invite. Do not bring divisive authority. Oh no, okay, that's before that. Yeah, I really don't see that in here. Cool. Way to go, whoever edited this journal. Corruption. Remedies are: prevent suitors from offering bribes, do not be bearable, do not employ confidential servants. Never. Or mercenaries. Roughness, a needless offense. Facility, a constant evil. Concluding remarks. 1. Great place brings out a man's virtue or vice. Galba and Vespasian use examples. A man should take a side in rising, and a man should avoid obtruding his public office into his private dealings. Yes, great. Thank you, Francis Bacon. I wish I hadn't made no bacon today. Alas, I did make no bacon. The next chapter will be of boldness, which actually looks quite fun. For now, let me check back in a couple of minutes. Hello again. 10 minutes later, I've cleaned up my mess, made some nice pour-over coffee, my new pour-over machine, which I hope doesn't spill. And we have around 30 seconds left on the clock, but I've looked in the oven, and I think we are all set. So I'm going to turn this one off, grab my little mitts, and let's see how this turned out. Unfortunately, wow, look at that. What a weird thing. I am not used to seeing eggs this way. I'll pick you up and carry you over here. Look at this. It's really quite tender. Nice and soft boiled. I think that's done. I know. It looks weird. Let's see how it tastes. So, here we go. Nice little plates. Coffee is good. Spatula. Pepper. Salts. I do have some chives, I think. No, I think that's ground parsley. I'm not sure I have any chives. Well, I'm going to fall back on my favorite herb, rosemary. It's good on everything. And I'm also going to cheat. Because as we all know, olive oil works on everything. Also works as a weird garnish. If we just waste some on the plate, it looks interesting. So, there we have it. Good. I realize I've taken off my jacket, for which I have no excuse, just an apology. And that's it. Thank you for joining me today on Francis Bacon and Egg, or just Francis and Egg. I'm sorry the essay was so disappointing to me, but this looks quite good. And I hope you enjoy the credit music as I taste it. Awkwardly. Good. So long.